So, dear friends, we have been discussing third chapter for quite some time now. This is the last part of the third chapter. There are last, you can say, 8 shlokas. Patanjali, in this whole chapter, the Vibhuti Pada, is talking about the Vibhutis. It means the special abilities that yogis get when they learn the art of doing samyama. Samyama is dharana, dhyana, and samadhi on anything, external or internal. Okay? What is it? This samyama is like a key. Wherever you apply key, it is like a master key. Wherever you apply this master key, it will open the lock. Wherever the mind approaches with this particular state of concentration, it is a law that wherever the mind is put, secrets will be revealed. Hmm? So Patanjali is telling here that if a yogi does samyama, you know, initially he spoke about bhutajayaha. Bhutajaya, you remember the shloka? These are two very similar shloka that come here. You just see this here. Here he spoke about sthula swarupa sukshma anvaya artha tattva sanyam adi bhutajaya. Correct? If a yogi applies his mind which is in a state of samyama, it means first pointed focus, dharana, then deshbandha chittasya dharana. After that, tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam on that particular object, uninterrupted flow of the consciousness, not distracted by anything. And then third, samadhi. Tadev artha matra nirbhasam. Only the object shines forth. Swarupa shunyam. He himself dissolves. Observer dissolves. Only the object shines. And when with this kind of a state, you are able to put your concentration, your meditation, your absorption onto anything, the object starts disintegrating, flowering, blossoming, opening up, revealing its essence to you. So when that is done on any of the Mahabhuta, say I sit beside a lake and I start doing samyama on water. Now I am looking at water. That is the sthula swarupa of water. Then as I continue to meditate on water, as I move from dharana to dhyana, I realize that apart from this sthula swarupa, water has a swarupa itself. It also has its own essence. Okay, what is the essence of water? It is its properties of coolness, its property of flowing, transparency, non-attachment. So I go and understand its guna and karma in depth. That is the swarupa. Apart from the sthul, what I am seeing, I am able to understand its essence. Then comes sukshma. Sukshma is that this is the sthul swarupa of water, and water is also governed by a subtle energy, a prana. Correct? So that particular energy which is governing water is also perceived by continued samyama. Then comes anvaya. Anvaya is interconnectedness or its relationship with other things in the cosmos. So in this universe, what is the role that water is playing? In this whole creation, Trigunamai, Prakriti, what is or how is it that water is connected, and how are its subtle form connected, and which guna it is related to, and how it is interacting with other gunas or other things in the cosmos or other Mahabhutas, or how the water has evolved from other Mahabhutas and how it is connected to other Mahabhutas. All the relationship of the water with the cosmos is understood in the next phase. And then what happens? Arthava Tattva. Arthava Tattva means now I get a clear insight that in this whole flow of things, where fundamentally the whole objective is that Prakriti is there to serve the Purusha. Bhoga apvargartham. Correct? So water as a part of Prakriti. What is its, in its essence, what is the purpose of water? How is it serving the Purusha, the Purusha Tattva? No, so what has happened? A yogi has started meditating on water, and slowly, as he continued his meditation and absorption, he started going into the very essence of water, going into the very subtler, aspect of its energies, and understanding its relationship with the other elements and other cosmic forces, and then its very purpose. Now, what is water? Hmm? A scientist would only say H2O, correct? But a yogi will be able to tell you the complete history and future of this element, water, because he now understands its real place in the cosmos. Why that has happened? Because he has learned the art of Samyama and he is putting it on that Mahabhuta. Samyama is essentially an art of love. Hmm? Because in love only you dissolve yourself for anything. When you love anything and you dissolve yourself to it, that thing has to become your slave. There is no option. Even God, people who are love bhaktas, when they do samyama on God, God becomes their slave. So like that, it is not jaya means conquering the nature. It is respect and so much love that you are able to sacrifice or dissolve yourself, to be one with water, to be one with the very soul of water, and water surrenders to you. Then you can walk on water. Then you can just request water, don't make me wet. It will not make you wet. Because the soul of water is connected to your soul now. You are now buddies, you are now friends. Maitri Bhava. Hmm? It is with this property that Bhuta Jaya happens. With any element. Now it is just example is for water. It can happen with any element. After describing this, he describes that then if you have all the elements are pancha mahabhutas are surrendering to you, then you can do anything. You can become big, small, heavy, light. You can fly. There are many, anima adi, all, and kaya sampat means body will manifest those pancha mahabhuta in their fullest potential. So there will be kaya sampat and all those things, and then glow will come on the skin, and there will be strength, adamantine strength, vajra samhanan in the body. Why? Because the pancha mahabhutas is what the body is made up of, and all these pancha mahabhutas are now your best friends, so they will give their best strength and best glow to your instrument. That is why these kind of sympathies come. Then he says, okay, you have done samyama on the pancha mahabhutas. You can also see here also very similar line of shloka comes. Instead of sthula, here comes grahana. Correct? Swarupa is as it is in the Bhutajaya Sutra. Then instead of Sukshma there, here comes Asmita. Correct? Then Anvaya and Artha Tattvas are same. Correct? So here the yogi shifts his samyama from the Panchamahabhutas. Now Kaya, Sampad and all other Anima, Garima, all those things have happened. But his journey is inward, no? So he will move inward. How long will he keep playing? No? So then he says the next step to turn inward is from the Sthula Sharira. The next thing comes is what? Sukshma Sharira. And in that, from the body, you come down to the sense organs. Now, in the sense organ, grahana. Grahana means what? Whenever the sense organ touches an object, you grasp something. That is known as grahana. Correct? So, I see. I am seeing something. Now, one is the object that I see. Second is the process of seeing. Third is the seer. Correct? Three things are there. There is an object, there is an act, and there is a subject. Correct? Patanjali says, if you do samyama on the process of seeing now, object was bhuta, no, object was water. Now you are not worried about water. You are worried about the process of seeing water. So I see that I see. Hmm? So this is known as grahana. I am seeing. a phenomena of seeing is happening. Correct? Now, when that seeing is taking place, this very act of seeing, it also is connected to a certain subtler aspect of the Mahabhuta only. Like the light is the property of sun or the fire, which makes you see. Correct? In similar way, Prithvi is connected to Gandha, Akasha is connected to hearing, water is connected to taste. Correct? Shabda Gunkam Akasham, Prithvyar Rasa, this Grana Netri, and we have seeing is with this Mahabhuta. So, in the process of seeing, one gets into the very essence, the Swarupa of the act of seeing. What is the act of seeing? I have an object, there is a desire in me to see the object, and there are subtler aspects of my energy which are moving, which are making me able to see the object, and then after that very essence of the act of seeing comes the asmita, the I-ness, because I cannot see the object unless I have an asmita. In that asmita, I desire to see. Correct? So first comes a desire to see, asmita directs, then the senses follow, then the act of seeing starts, and it meets the object. When it meets the object, it also generates a sensation, and there is a feedback that comes back also. There is a continuous loop. You see, there is a feedback that you are seeing, a image is formed in the brain, correct, and the brain interprets. So all these phenomena which happen in a fraction of a second, because yogi is in such a deep state of concentration, wherever he puts his mind with samyama, it starts splitting and opening up, revealing it. So he selectively focuses on the act of seeing, looks at its very essence, then looks at the I-ness that is involved with the act of seeing, and then he understands the very phenomena or its interconnectedness with other phenomena that are happening. Like when I see, at the same time, I am also able to hear the sound of the water. I am also, able to smell something that is coming from there. So there are many indriyas that are involved in that. How or which particular sense is faster? We with scientific discovery now we know that when there is a lightning, it is the light that is seen first and the sound comes later. Correct? So yogi is able to understand the qualities of all his senses. He also knows what is the speed of a particular sense, how is it connected to the manas, how is it connected to my I-ness, and what is this sensation doing to me, to my eye. This whole phenomena is understood, its relationship with other functioning and other aspects of the nature is understood, and then he understands the arthava tattva. It means why in the nature the power of seeing, the phenomena of seeing was created. Why, in the Purusha and Prakriti, the Trigunatmak play, why is this phenomena of seeing added and what is its significance? Why does one aspect of the nature want to see the another aspect? Correct? So, in this way, he understands the very purpose of eye, the act of seeing, and therefore he gains complete mastery over an indriya. Indriya does not mean the organ. Indriya organ belongs to Panchamahabhuta, body. But indriya means the physiology of that action. So that was anatomy. This is physiology. What is the functionality or what is the process that my eye does? When he understands all the deeper laws of seeing, perception, then he is able to gain mastery over the very act of seeing. Okay? What happens when he does that, when he develops that kind of a mastery over any particular indriya? Tato manojavitvam vikaran bhavah pradhana jayascha. What happens with that? manojavitvam. His mind is able to connect to that particular indriya really, really fast, and what he can also do is with swiftness of the mind, for us, it may take a longer time to process certain things. As soon as he perceives certain things, he is able to gain the knowledge in an instant, much faster. Okay, so one quality that develops is, there are some kind of people, no, as soon as they see a expression on your face, they know what you are going to tell. As soon as you enter their room, you ask your question, before you ask, they start answering your question. ऐसे कुछ लोग होते हैं ना, उनको उनके सामने बस आपको खड़ा होना है, वो आपको बता देंगे आपको क्या क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है. There were some politicians also who would, or some yogis also, who would get thousands of letters. They would just look at the letter, and without even reading, they would know what the person has asked, and they would start replying. Correct? Why? Because the very act of perception very quickly start giving them the essence of thing what they are seeing. They need not go line by line. उसको एक पेज खोलेगा, उसको उसका एसेंस पता चल जाएगा इसमें क्या है. मतलब वो, इट इज नॉट रीडिंग लाइन बाय लाइन, ही जस्ट टेक्स ए फोटो ऑफ द होल पेज, एक ही टाइम पे गेट्स एन एसेंस, गोस टू नेक्स्ट. Understand? This is known as manojavitvam. Manojavitvam means mind develops a very special quality of connecting with that sense organ, where he can process lot of information and get an output in a single instant simultaneously. It means जो थैलेमस होता है हमारे ब्रेन का, जो सब सेंसरी इंफॉर्मेशन को फिल्टर करता है, वो इन पर्टिकुलर योगीज में इट बिकम्स वेरी एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी इन प्रोसेसिंग दोज इंफॉर्मेशंस. It is able to quickly avoid what is not wanted. See, what does thalamus do? It is a sensory filter. Now, right now, when you are sitting here, there are so many information that are entering your brain. Touch of the chair, touch of your dress, temperature of the surrounding, sound that is coming from window, my sound, TV screen, light up from different direction. But your brain is completely able to focus on what is sir telling. Correct? But if this filter becomes weak, whatever is coming, you are distracted. You are developing ADHD. Any stimuli in your mind is able to distract you from your goal. Correct? But here reverse happens. The filter becomes so efficient. Whatever is not required is not there. Whatever is required is there in its complete essence. सामने वाला मुंह खोलेगा, उसको पता होगा क्या बोलने वाला है, क्योंकि उसका परसेप्शन इतना स्ट्रांग हो गया है. ही विल परसीव इट्स एक्सप्रेशन, tone, volume, tempo. AI is also able to do that now. कुछ ऐसे मूवीज है, आई रोबो या ऐसे मूवीज है, वेयर द AI was quickly able to perceive, oh, this person has fallen in love with me, हो गया. बिकॉज हिज बॉडी लैंग्वेज शोज दैट ये स्वेट कर रहा है, इसका हार्ट रेट बढ़ रहा है, इसका आई डायलेट हो रहा है, प्यूपिल डायलेट हो रहा है, इसका ये हो रहा है, तो इतने सारे, सो मेनी परसेप्शंस that the mind starts grasping, and therefore it appears that yogi is manifesting some extraordinary power which is called as manojavitvam, an extraordinary speed of the mind in processing things with preciseness. Okay, multiple things with preciseness. That quality comes in a yogi who does samyama on the indriya. Second, also manas is another indriya. Manas is also another indriya, which with every perception, mind has to be connected, otherwise there is no perception. So its connection with manas comes under its swarupa, its essence, as you do samyama. Then another phenomena that happens is vikaran bhava. Here what happens? Vikarana means it starts getting freedom or independent from only the phenomena of the body. So not only that the yogi is able to perceive phenomena which are happening in front of him, he develops something called as divya drishti, divya hearing, which happens in Bhagavad Gita also. He would be able to start seeing or perceiving things which others cannot perceive. It is not that those things which he is perceiving it is literally impossible for a human being to perceive. For example, bats perceive ultrasound waves. They see them. In the night also when they go, they are able to actually see the waves. Human beings don't see that, because the infrared light, the nanometer of our seeing frequency is not falling in that range right now. Correct? Right now there are radio waves all around. There are Wi-Fi waves everywhere. Mobile is connecting. You can see the phenomena happening, that okay, it is there or not, you just know. You cannot see that. Correct? But there are instruments with which you can wear and see them. Correct? It means there are specific specs that you have put, which have allowed you to see light or sound in a particular range, and now you are able to hear the sound which you were not able to hear before, or now you are able to see things which you were not able to see before. Correct? So it means some external element, some technology that can be added can enhance your perception. Correct? So here a yogi is able to do something with his own neurons, with his own eyes, with his own apparatus, using the power of his mind, that he is able to perceive, hear, see, touch, and feel things which others cannot. Dogs are able to smell, we are not. But it is there, no? Nature, that phenomena is there. Yogi will be able to do that if he does samyama on the process of smelling. Snake, when it walks, it is able to perceive earthquake on the other side of the earth, anywhere on the earth. We are not able to do that. No, this seismic, these waves of the earth, yogi will be able to do that. I have myself met one person who would say that he is able to see water entering from the roots of a tree and going up through his own eyes. This phenomena happened with Sai Baba also, where there was a very thirsty person who was, wanting water, and there was no water here. So he had a pin like thing, he just poked it into a tree somewhere, and water started coming from tree. People said, it is magic. How can it happen? Then he says, water is already there in the tree. No, it is going up. The only thing is, you should know where it is flowing and where to put it. That is what, science does, technology does, which appears like a magic to a person who doesn't know the laws. So in the same way, Vikarana Bhavaha means that from the phenomena of the normal physiology, what people perceive, yogi is able to expand his horizons and is able to do and perceive things much beyond the usual human capabilities. This is the result of doing samyama on the process of different perceptions. Then, third, from the object to the process of seeing or the kriya, and then from the process now to the subject, who is the seer. What happens if a yogi shifts his samyama? तीन चीजें है ना, क्या क्या है? What are the three things? त्रिपुटी में what are the three things? दृष्टा है, दृश्य, दृष्टा, and the act of seeing. Correct? So drishya is the object, what is being seen. Drishti is the process of seeing, and drashta is the seer. So from drishti now you move to drashta, who is seeing. Now if the focus goes completely inward, when Bhutajaya happened, it was samyama on akara. When it moved to drishti, it was samyama on ukara, subtle jagat. When it shifts to the self, it is samyama on the makara. Correct? Three purushas are there, no? There is Vaishwanara Purusha, Tejas Purusha, and Prajna Purusha. So now the samyama is on Prajna Purusha, who is seeing. Correct? So he says, Sattva, Purusha, Anya, Khyati Matrasya, Sarva Bhav Adhishtatratvam, Sarva Jnatratvam. Also here in the last sloka we missed one part. Pradhana Jayascha. What is Pradhana Jaya? Pradhana Jaya means that the very phenomena of perception, from all the sense organ unite one into one mind. Correct? So mind is the sixth sense. Correct? So he says that you start with any sense organ, ultimately you will reach the essence or the core, and it will give you mastery over all other senses. So you begin with any sense, ultimately you will end up in mastering all the senses. That is Pradhana Jaya. It means you are reaching the thalamus, you are reaching the very core area of the brain which processes all the sensory informations. So that is the meaning there. Then he says, Sattva. Wherever in Patanjali Sattva has come, Sattva means purified buddhi. Correct? Purusha is pure consciousness. Then what is he saying? Anya khyati, through knowledge, if the person is able to do samyama on this process, that buddhi is not the Purusha. संयमा किस प्रोसेस पे कर रहा है? बुद्धि is not the Purusha. Buddhi is only a medium which reflects the Purusha. Correct? That is, what is Asmita? What is the definition of Asmita by Patanjali? Drig. There are two Shakti. Drig Shakti, Darshana Shakti. Correct? Ekatmate means they become one. That very process of buddhi becoming one with the Purusha is known as Asmita. Correct? Now here what is he telling? Split that. Buddhi is separate. Purusha is separate. If you do samyama on this phenomena, but it should happen with a purified buddhi. It cannot happen if the buddhi is not purified. Then what happens? Sarva bhava adhisthatritvam sarva nyatritvam cha. It means he is saying, after doing that, same phenomena will happen. It will start revealing its very secrets to you. Why? Why buddhi became one with the consciousness? When you mix milk in water or water in milk, is it possible to separate? Very difficult, correct? But Hamsa, a bird, is only able to drink milk out of it and leave all the water as it is. A bird can do that. You know that? If you put one bowl of water and one bowl of milk, mix them, it will drink, 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 and when it is done, you will clearly see one bowl of water left, as much as it was before. Only milk will be gone. That is why they say Paramahamsa. To yogis, they say Paramahamsa. Why they are Paramahamsa? Because they are able to distinguish through Viveka the Prakriti from the Purusha. Correct? So, when one does samyama on this phenomena, right now all of us are milk. Right now all of us are milk. We have the milk mixed with water. We have milk of Prakriti and water of Purusha in us. Right now we are पूरा mix करके डाल दिया. It is very difficult for us to differentiate the Purusha within us from the Prakriti within us. We have Pancha Mahabhutas, we have Pancha Tanmatras, we have Indriyas, we have Manas, we have Buddhi, we have Asmita. Correct? We have all of them. But can we feel them differently? We feel all of them as one. This is Ajnana. This is Avidya. They are all separate. But we feel everything is one. And over that, we feel them one with the Purusha who is standing behind. So, ये बोल रहा है कि पहले तो आप संयमा करो भूतों पे, देन इंद्रियों पे, प्रधान जयश्च मन पे आ जाओ, फिर उसके बाद में बुद्धि को पुरुष से अलग करो. Differentiate buddhi from the Purusha. When you do that, what happens? Sarva bhava adhisthatram. It means you get supremacy over all the bhavas. sarvanyatratvam cha, and you know everything. Omnipotent, omniscience. See, actually, deep down in our heart, all of us want this only, no? What do we want? We want to be omnipotent. कुछ भी कर सकूं, and मुझे सब कुछ पता हो, सारे सीक्रेट A to Z. I want everything should be known to me. Is this not a desire in everybody's heart? Why is that desire? Because that is our swarupa. What is our swarupa? Omnipotent, omniscience. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avastha. So, what is not allowing me to sit in my swarupa? Chitta vritti. Chitta and its vrittis. One after another, waves of vrittis keep coming and keep fooling me, distracting me. Where the buddhi merges with the purusha, I become the doer, I become the person who is experiencing it. So, bhoga. And the process of doership continues, and I am not able to do samyama on this particular aspect. Basically, this is a meditation where Patanjali is telling you meditate and tell yourself, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the body. Hmm? So you are not the body. You are not the senses. You are not the mind. You are not the intellect also. They are all your instruments. Correct? But you, the Purusha, uninvolved, untouched, untainted, unaffected, unchanging, unmoving, observe. If a yogi does samyama on that, like a flash, everything is known, everything can be done. This is enlightenment. This is what people call as enlightenment. It happens like a flash. Hmm? It is like suddenly a rocket escapes the escape velocity, the boundaries of the gravitation of the earth, and is open in the vast space. You have suddenly crossed that particular thing that was pulling you down into this body, into this consciousness. So then Patanjali says, with, you come to know everything, all the gunas, how they are functioning, sattva, rajas, tamas, and the trigunatmak prakriti and its flow, and how it is moving inside the purusha. You can do anything. But if, when you reach a state where you develop a vairagya to that also, कितना खेलोगे प्रकृति में, कितना खेलोगे? Ultimately you want to go back to your sweet home. Correct? Tad vairagyadapi dosha bija kshaye kaivalyam. The very root cause of bondage is then removed when you show vairagya to omnipotent and omniscience as well. So towards the end of Vibhuti Pada, Patanjali says that all these siddhis are like video games. You will play, 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 and after that you should get bored and you should develop vairagya. Correct? Those who have real viveka, they don't even play and waste their time. They straight away move towards vairagya, because ultimately they know that the real essence, the real satisfaction, the real fulfillment is in my own nature. It is not there in any of these reflections that are shown in the Prakriti. No matter, ultimately, the very asmita, that is making you do this, people should give me name, fame, power, should appreciate, all that asmita itself appears futile. And then you see what to do, why to do all this. Correct? So, Tad vairagyadapi dosha bija kshaye. Dosha bija is asmita. What is the dosha? Main dosha is buddhi becoming one with Purusha. So that particular dosha is removed, and there comes the absolute liberation. There is not even a taint of desire, and then the person is ready for Kaivalya. Okay? So please understand that Kaivalya is a state that comes after an individual does samyama on the process that the buddhi and the purusha are different. You understand? So Kaivalya will come to you only when you tell yourself, I am not the intellect. I am something different. Sthanup nimantrane sangasmaya karanam punara anishta prasangat. When a yogi reaches that kind of a state where he has developed vairagya to omnipotent, omniscience as well, you know, then even the celestial beings or the devas, they feel little threatened. Because now you are reaching a state where you are crossing and developing a power to know their secrets as well, their phenomena as well, their journeys as well. You are knowing everything. So then there are certain forces in the nature which try to bring you down. This has happened with Gautama the Buddha. There has been a mention that Indra himself came to him and then offered him, very lucrative offers, bhogas that are unimaginable. If you just look at them, you'll faint. That kind of a quality of the bhogas. For somehow, Prakriti to take control once again. Same thing Kamdev did with, tried to do with Shiva. When Shiva was going very deep into Samadhi, then Kamdev wanted to strike him. Momentarily, he distracted him. Then Shiva opened the third eye and burnt the Kama. Correct? So when yogis reach that level of state, then Prakriti gives a last try. इसको पकड़ो यार, ये जा रहा है, गया ये. तो फिर वो देवास, इंद्रास, गंधर्वास, even the Brahma, they can offer you when such invitations are given, when such siddhas, such devas and celestial beings and apsaras, and they come to you and they invite you. Patanjali says you should already be prepared for it. It should not come as a sudden shock to you. You should already be prepared for it. And in such a thing, you should not show too much of enthusiasm. Also, you should not develop a pride that I am being invited by such, celestial beings, what kind of human being I am. If you get into both these phenomena, one is accepting their offer and showing, a lot of enthusiasm in what they are going to show you, interest, or on the other extreme, trying to, develop an ego that, okay, I reject this also, such a great person I am. And what, among other human beings, I am so special. So that kind of a, if it happens, then slowly that asmita and the buddhi and purusha will again start coming together, and you will not even realize when you have once again got into the cycle. Punar anishtam prasangat. Again the anishta will start. So prakriteha panchatayah klishta aklishta, no? So again the anishta, the klishta, the vritti sarupyam, itaratra. Vritti sarupyam will again begin. You should, in that moment, what you should think, that with God's grace, with Guru's grace, I am very, very lucky that I have reached such a state where I am able to experience freedom, ultimate freedom. And from thousands and lakhs of janmas, I have been striving for this. Now it is here. I should not give it up again for ephemeral, transient nature. Any bhoga, no matter how divya, how great it is, ultimately follows the law of starting, staying, and ending. Correct? It is always going to be a fluctuating phenomena. I should rise above all these fluctuations. And therefore, he says, with this kind of a thinking, you should not get enticed by such offers. And this fluctuation, Patanjali says, there is another way that you can develop viveka in this scenario by saying that time is continuously changing. Kshana tat kramayoho sanyamad vivekajam jnanam. What is the smallest unit of time? That is kshana. You understand? What is the smallest unit of time? Kshana. Is kshana same as 1 second? Is kshana same as 1 second? No, because 1 second has 1000 milliseconds. 1 millisecond has 1000 nanoseconds. Kshana is like atom is the smallest unit of matter. Kshana is the smallest unit of time. And when yogi does samyama on that, with that, what does yogi develop? Yogi develop viveka and jnana. See, one process he told is you do samyama on separation of buddhi, that is intellect, from the consciousness. That is one way. Second way, he tells, another way to reach the same state of jnana is doing samyama on time, the smallest unit of time. What is he actually telling, you know? He is telling super mindfulness. It is not normal mindfulness. It is super mindfulness. You are mindful of what you are doing. You are listening to me. But then in this moment, what I am saying, there are thousands of milliseconds. Quickly, they are all moving one after another. But as the smallest unit of time, as at the smallest unit of time, it is a single frame. It is not a continuous flow. It is frame after frame, frame after frame, frame after frame, they are coming and appears to be in a flow. That is how movie runs, right? मूवी में क्या होता है, एक के बाद एक फ्रेम आता जाता है. वो फ्रेम के कारण हमको वो इससे घूमता रहता है, तो हमको लगता है कि कंटिन्यूअसली वो आदमी चल रहा है. लेकिन एक फ्रेम को उठाया तो सब कुछ स्टैटिक है ना. एवरी फ्रेम इज स्टैटिक. But when all the frames are joined together, things appear to be moving. So when a yogi does samyama on the time, he starts getting frames. फिर उसको दिखाई देता है कि यार ये सब कुछ जो है एक्चुअली इस ए प्ले, इट इज स्टैटिक, and what I am getting attracted to, what my senses are pulling me towards, what I am struggling with, actually, it is not like that. It is an illusion. It is an illusion. He is able to see the magic, the logic behind the magic, and therefore the magic no more impresses him. तो जो जादू जो फैला है ना प्रकृति का, माया का, उसका वो रूट कॉज है कि टाइम को कंटिन्यूअस दिखाता है. That is the root through which Maya catches the intellect. Now he is able to break that. So, Kshan tat kramayoho. One after another frames are coming. Second. Then in frames I am not interested. As soon as things are broken and made very slow, उससे interest चला जाता है. When things are done in a flash, they are able to attract you, they are able to pull you and make you do things. This is a general phenomena in life. Whenever your mind is too fast, whenever you are rushing towards something, you are bound to get illusioned, fooled, deluded, and make wrong decisions. Same thing if you take it very slowly, आराम से करेंगे. What happens when things become very slow? They become very clear to you. एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ. Everybody plays cricket, no? Correct? When the bowler is bowling at 150 miles an hour, it is very difficult to hit the ball. There are chances that you will miss it, especially when it is swinging and at the same time it is very fast. Then your bat may not touch the ball. So आपको सिर्फ zoom zoom सिर्फ आवाज सुनाई देगा. करेक्ट. वहीं आप इस पूरे प्रोसेस को, टाइम वार्प होता है ना, उसको एकदम स्लो कर दो. एक 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 चीज को तोड़ दो. अब उसके हाथ से बॉल छूट रहा है, फिर वो कैसा उसने कैसा पकड़ा हुआ है, कैसा स्विंग कर रहा है, आपको क्लियरली दिखाई दे रहा है कि ये बॉल तो साला बाहर जाएगा. है. फिर वो टप्पा खा रहा है, फिर टप्पा खा के कितना एंगल में चेंज हो गया वो भी आपको दिख रहा है. फिर धीरे धीरे जा रहा है. आप बराबर उसको सेंटर ऑफ बैट ला के उसको छक्का मार दोगे. मार दोगे कितना भी फास्ट बॉलर हो. करेक्ट. तो इन द सेम वे, when mind becomes so still that the time which is running for everybody becomes static for you, with your omnipotent and omniscience you lose interest. That is viveka. And this is another way through which yogi, becoming super mindful of the present moment, develops that viveka within him. Because that viveka, that kshana tat kramayoho, super mindfulness of the moment, tells him, okay, object came, sensation, my eyes perceived the object, that perception generated a sensation. Now this sensation is touching my past emotion. Now this past emotion and the sensation are trying to hijack my intellect. Now my intellect is telling me to do a thing which I should not do. अभी उसको इतना ड्रामा दिख रहा है तो वो कहाँ उसको फॉलो करके करने वाला है. वो बोलेगा चाहे हटाओ ड्रामा, सीधा सीधा. बट इट हैपन सो फास्ट, हम डिल्यूड हो जाए. When things become slow, it is very difficult to get deluded. So slowing down is another way through which viveka develops. That is what Patanjali wants to tell here. Super mindfulness of the present moment. जैसे कि आप माइंडफुलनेस तो पता ही है, प्रेजेंट में मैं जो कर रहा हूं मैं उसके प्रति अपने पूरे सेंसेस को प्रेजेंट में लाऊं. अब आप ये बोलते हो कि माई होल एग्जिस्टेंस शुड रिमेन इन द मोमेंट. अब आप मोमेंट को ये सेकंड मत समझो, टाइम के स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट में मैं एग्जिस्ट करना चाहता हूं. आई हैव ए डिजायर ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग इन द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट ऑफ टाइम राइट नाउ. एक मिली सेकेंड भी मेरे अवेयरनेस के बिना नहीं जाना चाहिए. देन योर ब्रेथ विल कम टू ए स्टॉपेज. सांस लेना मुश्किल हो जाएगा आपके. So that requires a still, rock solid mind without vrittis. So you are doing meditation on the very process that this smallest moment of time here now is where I exist. सांस लेना मुश्किल हो जाए. Okay, next. So Patanjali, mindfulness, they say, is a third wave psychotherapy. Patanjali is talking about super mindfulness 2000 years ago. So then, jati, lakshana, दैशेर अन्यता अनअवच्छेदात तुल्य यो अस ततः प्रतिपत्ति. So how do you know that you have developed that kind of a viveka? Patanjali is telling कि this viveka will manifest in a power where you will be able to distinguish two objects which appear exactly similar in their external appearance, in the time that they were created, and in the space that they are in. Kshana, Desha, Jati means, give me a pen. There is a pen. I have exactly same pen from the same company. Correct? Created at the same point of time and kept in exactly the same place. Still I will be able to differentiate between the two pens. It is just an example. Pen is an example. It is about such power of discrimination where you are able to differentiate things which appear very similar in all their temporal, spatial, and external, phenomena or features. So what is it that is making you differentiate them? Because the kshana tat kramayoho, because you are right into the very millisecond of the time. Superficially they may appear very similar, but as you get into the smallest unit of the time, and in that moment, the smallest unit of the time, your viveka, your ability to see the phenomena happening in the smallest unit of the time is able to give you an idea of how one particular object is different from another. What is it that is differentiating them? It is the very essence of them. So in essence, this object is serving another purpose in the Prakriti. This object is serving another purpose in the Prakriti. Both of them are for Purusha, but in a very subtle way, because the two have been created, they serve a slightly different purpose. Correct? That kind of a awareness is able to come to a yogi who is able to do kshan pratikshan kind of a meditation. Sometimes there are twins, no? They dress exactly similarly. They have clothes also very similar. They pura copy lagte hain, no? Twins are there. Then if a yogi is sitting, and he looks at one twin who looks exactly similar as the another twin, in the fraction of a second, in the moment that he is meditating, he will be able to differentiate the two, because his perception will go beyond the physical appearance into the very depth or the very essence of the person who is in front of him, and he will know what purpose this person is serving in the Prakriti and what is that person serving in the Prakriti. Correct? That's why he will be able to clearly tell, you are Ram, you are Sham, which others cannot. So therefore Patanjali, see here in this shloka you should see jati. Jati means the person will also belong to same species like human being. Lakshana means the temporal characteristics, like whatever behaviors you show, whatever activities you show, your voice, intonation, everything is same. Desha, you are exactly at the same place also. No, so behaviorally in all your perception, like sensory perception में आपको सब सेम लगेगा, लेकिन उसके स्वरूप में, उसके अस्तित्व में, उसकी अस्मिता में वो अलग हो जाएगा. योगी को उसका नॉलेज होता है, इसलिए योगी उसको डिफरेंशिएट कर देता है. एंड टू थिंग्स कैन नॉट हैव सेम पर्पस, बिकॉज इफ दे हैव बीन क्रिएटेड, they are serving a different purpose. So therefore Patanjali says that there is nothing like vivekajam jnanam. What is viveka? Viveka is a quality of the mind to be able to differentiate. चीजों को अलग अलग करने की कैपेबिलिटी ही विवेक है. करेक्ट? सो fundamentally that viveka is used to differentiate buddhi from the purusha. That is the ultimate purpose of viveka. Correct? So Patanjali says tarakam sarva vishayam sarvatha vishayam akramam cheti vivekajam jnanam. Although viveka is able to perceive the time and all the phenomena of the nature which is following a krama. Krama means what? Moment to moment everything is changing. Actually it is not about being super mindful. Doesn't mean that you are just taking a frame at a time. You are also able to appreciate that every one frame is different from the next frame. क्या होता है ना कि दो फ्रेम अगर आप, सी आई टेक ए फोन, आई टेक ए फोन, आई टेक हिज फोटो, 1 2, आई हैव हिज 2 फोटोग्राफ्स. इसके 2 फोटोग्राफ है मेरे पास. ये एक फोटो है, ये एक फोटो है. हाँ, 2 फोटो है. ये देखो भाई, ये तुम्हारा एक फोटो, ये इसका दूसरा फोटो, करेक्ट? नाउ इफ आई जंबल दिस फोटो अप एंड डाउन, can you tell me which one was clicked first, which one was clicked second? These are two photos of the same person taken exactly the next moment. If I jumble them, one and two, will you be able to tell me which photo was first and which photo was second? How many of you can tell me, raise your hand online? Gautam bhai is able to tell. How? He's telling in the properties, in the details, time of clicking is there. So I will not show you the property, I'll just show you two photos. फ्रेम करके ले आऊंगा, एक को आगे एक को पीछे ऐसे रख दूंगा, बोलो नंबर 1 नंबर 2, बताओ कौन सा है? नो, करेक्ट? नो. But if, you know, I get somebody who is an expert in image pixel resolution analysis, he will be able to tell me that even in the fraction of a second थोड़ा सा different हो गया. Persons, every moment we know that cells are being created, destroyed, flushing of the face changes, the light intensity is continuously, this is not a straight light, it is fluctuating. Light ऐसा, हमको लगता है कि only one light is going, it is always in the form of a wave. So the flux of light which was entering in the first click and the flux of light which was entering in the second click, उसमें thousands of lux का difference हो जाएगा. इतना भी नहीं कि आपको बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो, अगर आप उसको डिटेल में जाएंगे ना, तो स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट ऑफ लाइट इंटेंसिटी इज लक्स, LUX. दैट लक्स फ्लक्चुएट्स. एक क्लिक से नेक्स्ट क्लिक में द लक्स ऑफ लाइट इंटेंसिटी इन द टू इमेजेस will differ by thousands of lux. You understand? So if you do it in a sequence, he will be able to tell you that okay, light ऐसे fluctuate हो रहा है, तो ये पहला इमेज है, ये दूसरा, ये तीसरा है. This is only by science and technology I am saying. So in the same way, a yogi, when he does samyama on kshana tat kramayoho, moment to moment how things are changing, through his viveka, he is able to differentiate the phenomena that are happening within and around him, and that gives him viveka. That gives him the power of decision making, of deciding what is to be done, what is not to be done. ये एक सेकंड पहले मैंने परसीव किया, दूसरे सेकंड में मेरे अंदर सेंसेशन आया, तीसरे सेकंड में मेरा माइंड ने कुछ रिएक्ट किया, चौथे सेकंड में मेरी बुद्धि ने कुछ रिएक्ट, मुझे सब कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है यार. अब मेरे से कुछ छुपा हुआ नहीं है. एवरीथिंग इज ओपन टू मी, एवरीथिंग इज हैपनिंग इन स्लो मोशन. हाउ कैन एनीथिंग डिल्यूड मी नाउ? जब सब कुछ सामने सीक्रेट ओपन हो गया, फिर कोई बेवकूफ कैसे बना सकता है? इसी बात को पतंजलि बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो विवेक है, ये सर्व विषयम सर्वथा विषयम है. एक बार ये विवेक आ गया, इसके बाद में आपको नेचर विल नॉट बी एबल टू डिलीड यू, यू विल नॉट बी. हाँ यार, ये क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात कर लो. वो कौन सा मूवी था जिसमें, वो लूसी करके मूवी था, जिसमें उसका ब्रेन 100% काम करने लगता है, तो वो फाइबर देख सकती है, फाइबर को हटा के उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन देख के बंद कर सकती है. उसको क्या डिल्यूजन होगा उसको, मतलब कि काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, उसके एक एक फ्रीक्वेंसी, एक एक वाइब्रेशन उसको पता चल रहा है कि कैसे ये मुझे हाईजैक कर रहा है. वो कहाँ उससे डिल्यूट होने वाली है? तो इट इज लाइक योगी का 100% ब्रेन अब काम कर रहा है, और वो उसका परसेप्शन इस लेवल पे आ चुका है कि क्षण क्षण में होने वाले चेंजेस को वो क्लियरली देख रहा है. इसका मतलब अब माया का जो जाल था वो अब टूट गया. अब वो उसको कभी भी अलग करके उसमें खेल सकता है, बाहर आ सकता है, कुछ भी कर सकता है. देयरफॉर तारकम सर्व विषयम, सारे विषयों से तारने वाला, सर्वथा विषयम, किसी भी तरीके के विषय को आप लेकर के आओ, उससे अक्रमम. देखो प्रकृति तो क्रम में चल रही है, हर मोमेंट चेंज हो रही है, लेकिन ये जो ज्ञान आपको एक बार मिल गया, ये अक्रमम है, ये मोमेंट टू मोमेंट फ्लक्चुएट होने वाला नॉलेज नहीं है. ये एक बार आ गया, ये हमेशा रहने वाला, बिकॉज ये पुरुष का ज्ञान. सो सो प्रकृति में ही से क्षण तत् क्रमम, whereas for jnana he says akramam. The perceptor, the one, the seer is akramam. The seen is kramam. जो दिख रहा है वो क्षण क्षण बदल रहा है, पर जो देख रहा है वो बदल नहीं रहा। समझ में आया? इसीलिए इसे ट्रांसेंडेंटल कहा जाता है, क्योंकि ये नॉर्मली हमारे कॉग्निशन में नहीं आ सकता। इसके लिए हमें दिव्य दृष्टि या दिव्य ऋतंभरा प्रज्ञा चाहिए। एंड it is comprehensive, concerned with all state of things, omniscient, omnipotent, and is without succession or fluctuations. This is known as vivekajam jnanam. With this comes the last sutra of the third chapter. Sattva purushayoho shuddhi samye kaivalyam iti. Person has reached the verge of absolute liberation, and when there is equality, साम्य, साम्य मीन्स बैलेंस हो गया, इक्वल हो गया। क्या इक्वल हो गया? प्योरेस्ट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ बुद्धि, बुद्धि के सारे चित्त वृत्ति चले गए, बुद्धि हैज बिकम वेरी प्योर। एंड व्हाट इज बुद्धि डूइंग नाउ? बुद्धि हैज बिकम ओनली वन थिंग, बुद्धि हैज बिकम an instrument of reflecting the purusha. Now buddhi is no more attracted to the chitta vrittis which are coming into the mind from the manas, from the memories, smriti, or from the interaction of the sense organ with the sense objects. Why? Because the very asmita which was having raga, dvesha is gone, because asmita was nothing but an illusion that was created, which made buddhi think itself as the doer and merge with the purusha. Now they are separated. Chitta, which was filled with so many samskaras. See, chitta vritti kahan se aata hai? What is chitta vritti, by the way? What is chitta vritti? No imaginary words. Tell me what you feel, what you observe. What is chitta vritti? Don't tell me what you have read. Tell me what you feel. चित्त वृत्ति क्या है आशीष?
The creation of form in our chitta, like mind stuff. So that is what, like, I'm seeing you, so it's a you are vritti in my mind. So it's like this whole world is a vritti, like different shapes, and I give name to that. That's what vritti is.
Whatever my chitta reflects, whatever that your chitta reflects to you. Now you are listening to me, you are seeing me, your chitta is reflecting me as it is, pramana vritti. Now, while listening to me, you have gone back to your hometown, you are thinking about your boyfriend, girlfriend, viparya, vikalpa vritti, or smriti, as it is, whatever has happened, how you got up in the morning, some problem happened in the morning, you are repeating the same scenario, smriti vritti is coming. You are dozing off, nidra vritti is coming. You are thinking about future, when will this class end, when I have to go back to my college, vikalpa. You are in shabda jnana anupati vastu shunya. Viparyaya, you are thinking this fellow is telling something I am not able to understand. When will I go? Viparyaya means you are processing something, but your own mind is projecting something else over it. It is not able to perceive thing as it is. All these things, whatever your chitta keeps reflecting, is vritti. Correct? These vrittis, where you get viparyaya, vikalpa, smriti, nidra. What is driving a continuous flux of images, sound and projections on this screen of chitta? कहाँ से आ रही है ये वृत्ति? ये मूवी जो चल रही है हमारे, see, all of us have a screen in our mind. On that continuously movie is running. Rarely only that screen is empty where we see things as they are. Otherwise some or the other movie is always on. हमारा टीवी कभी बंद होता है क्या? चलता रहता है, एक चैनल के बाद दूसरा चैनल आता रहता है। मैं बोल रहा हूं कि उसका रिमोट कहाँ है और चैनल कौन बदलता है? हु हैज द रिमोट एंड हु कीप शिफ्टिंग द चैनल्स? शी सेज अस्मिता. These are all samskaras. Samskaras which are there in the very depth of the chitta. So whatever is there in the depth of the ocean, that only keeps surfacing up as waves. So samskaras, how they are formed? Wherever, whatever vritti that comes, if asmita gets attached with lot of raga dvesha, it makes sanskara. More the raga dvesha, मोर दी अस्मिता, मोर इम्प्रिंटफुल इज द संस्कार, लॉन्गर इट स्टेज, मोर फ्रीक्वेंटली इट कम्स। नहीं तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, सुबह चाय पी के आया तो वो चाय पीना बार बार दिमाग में आने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है ना। भाई चाय पिया, बार बार क्यों दिमाग में आएगा चाय पिया चाय पिया, कुछ नहीं हुआ। लेकिन चाय पीते हुए किसी ने झापड़ मार दिया तो फिर वो चाय, फिर चाय और झापड़, चाय झापड़, पूरा जो हफ्ता भर महीना भर सालों तक चलता है। क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें द्वेष राग बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गया। वही फिनोमेना, वही फिनोमेना है। करेक्ट। So this is what makes samskara. Some samskaras are high in GB, very loaded. Samskaras are low in GB, उसका लो होता है। उतना वो जितना ज्यादा जीबी का आपने अपलोड कर रहे हो भाई, गूगल ड्राइव भरता जाता है। गूगल ड्राइव है, चित्ता ऑल्सो हैज ए ड्राइव, इट ऑल्सो हैज ए लिमिट। अभी आप उसको 1 TB 2 TB 1000 TB कर दोगे, फिर वो डल हो जाएगा, फिर डिप्रेशन हो जाएगा। चित्ता आपको खाली करना आता नहीं है, अभी संस्कारा भरते जा रहे हैं, फिर एफिशिएंसी कम हो जाती है। इट टेक्स टाइम फॉर फोल्डर टू ओपन, प्रमाणावृत्ति टू कम, क्योंकि आपका मूवी इतना इंटेंस चल रहा है, पुराना वाला ही मूवी इंटेंस चल रहा है। तो फिर वैसे ही कोई अगर आदमी है भाई, ऑलवेज रिलीजेस हिज स्ट्रेस, परफॉर्म्स योग निद्रा, रोज जाके अपने जो भी डाउनलोडेड फोल्डर है अनवांटेड फाइल्स को क्लियर करके क्लियर करता जाता है, उसका प्रोसेसिंग फास्ट होगा, फटाफट प्रमाणावृत्ति जो भी वृत्ति जाना है वो करता चला जाएगा। सेजल पता नहीं क्यों हंस रही है। तो यू अंडरस्टैंड। सो पतंजलि योग सूत्रा को जैसा एब्स्ट्रैक्ट हवा में कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है यार, इट इज अवर डे टू डे लाइफ हैपनिंग राइट नाउ हियर। व्हाट पतंजलि इज टेलिंग यू, चित्त वृत्ति निरोधा इज योगा। It means these unwanted fluctuations that are happening in your mind without your will, which are coming from your own chitta samskaras, you have to free yourself from them. So if you have to free yourself from these unwanted chitta vrittis which are coming, what is the first step? No, no. Huh? Why yam niyam is the first step? No, what is the first step in clearing those chitta vritti? He says yama niyam. Why yama niyam? Because first thing you have to do is stop making new vrittis. पहले नया फाइल अपलोड करना तो बंद करो यार, तुम पुराने फाइल में डिलीट करूंगा वो बाद में, पहले नए जीबी अपलोड करना तो बंद करो। कर्मा डन अगेंस्ट यमा ब्रिंग्स स्ट्रॉन्गर वृत्तिस। वो बार बार आता है, झूठ बोला फंस गए, बार बार आएगा, एक झूठ के लिए 1000 झूठ बोलने पड़ेंगे। वायलेंस किया, वृत्ति स्ट्रांग बनेगा। ब्रह्मचर्य तोड़ा, लस्ट में किसी को यूज किया और धोखा दे दिया, फिर आप सो नहीं पाओगे ना, आपको आएगा, बार बार आएगा वो। चोरी कर ली, दूसरे को दुखी कर दिया, जिस चीज की जरूरत नहीं उसको पजेस करके रखा, हम्म, बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रोल दिखाया दूसरे पे, दूसरे को हर्ट किया, सब यम आपने तोड़ दिए। अब यम तोड़ने के बाद में आप बोलते हो कि यार मेरा माइंड अभी वृत्तियाँ बढ़ रही है। इतने बड़े बड़े जीबी के फाइल आपने अपलोड कर दिए, अब वो फाइल बार बार प्ले करते रहेंगे, आपके चित्त को हेवी करेंगे। बराबर। कौन हेवी बनाता है उन फाइल्स को? क्लेश। कितना जीबी का राग है, कितना जीबी का द्वेष है, वो उसको फाइल को हेवी बना देता है। फिर दे विल कीप, depending on the intensity, they will keep coming on your chitta. When they are coming on your chitta, how will you keep your chitta on pramana in what you want to do? It will become difficult. You cannot concentrate, I can't do my work, I don't feel any interest or enthusiasm in doing the activities that I am doing, I can't sleep in the night। यार यही तो सब साइकेट्रिक डिसऑर्डर से और है क्या? What else is psychiatry? What is anxiety? What is depression? What is psychosis? All this only, no? Chitta vrittis only, no? All of them have arisen because person has broken yama. आप यम तोड़ना छोड़ते नहीं हो, एंटी डिप्रेसेंट खाते हो, एंटी साइकोटिक खाते हो, क्या कब तक चलेगा? तुम जो फेनोमेना चल रहा है वो तो आप चलाते जा रहे हो, क्योंकि यू डोंट इवन अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज लीडिंग टू दैट। फिर बोलते हो जिंदगी भर खाना पड़ेगा क्या? अरे खाना पड़ेगा ना यार, और क्या करेंगे, और दोष भी बढ़ता जाएगा उसका। तुम जो फाइल बनाना बंद ही नहीं कर रहे हो, एंटी डिप्रेसेंट से एंटी साइकोटिक पे जाओगे। So Patanjali says, यमा, नियमा, पहले बनाना बंद करो यमा, फिर क्लीन करना शुरू करो नियम, तप करो, जप करो, संतोष करो, कर्मयोग करो, भगवान का नाम लो, ईश्वर प्रणिधान करो, प्रेयर करो, स्वाध्याय करो, सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन करो, क्या मेरे चित्त में अभी चल रहा है, कौन सी मूवी चल रही है, क्यों यही मूवी बार बार क्यों चल रही है, ये 5 साल हो गए, 10 साल हो गए, ये इंसिडेंट्स मेरे कॉलेज में चाइल्डहुड में हुआ था, यही बार बार मेरे दिमाग में अभी तक क्यों आ रहा है, पूछो खुद से, स्वाध्याय करो। ये मुझे मुक्ति क्यों नहीं दे रहा, मेरे चित्त की क्लेंजिंग क्यों नहीं हो रही, चित्त शुद्धि क्यों नहीं हो रही मेरी, ये मेरे चित्त को बार बार क्यों बिगाड़ता है, वाई दिस इंसिडेंट्स, व्हाट वाज द स्टेट ऑफ माय रागा द्वेषा अस्मिता इन दैट मोमेंट, क्या मैंने ऐसा कर दिया जिससे कि ये चित्त वृत्ति मुझे हाईजैक करके बैठी हुई है। सो यू डू संतोषा, यू डू स्वाध्याय, यू डू तपस, एंड ईश्वर प्रणिधान, कुछ नहीं होता तो भगवान से प्रे करो, भगवान मुझे इससे मुक्ति दो। तो आपने फिर क्या किया, भगवान फिर आपने क्या किया आपने यम और नियम करके सबसे पहले अपना लाइफस्टाइल चेंज किया, यू स्टॉप डूइंग व्हाट यू शुड नॉट डू एंड यू स्टार्टेड डूइंग व्हाट यू शुड डू, देन यू डेवलप लिटिल बिट ऑफ एलिजिबिलिटी कि भाई चलो आराम से आसन में बैठेंगे, सांसों को देखेंगे, सांसों को स्लो करेंगे, क्षण तत् क्रमयो, माइंडफुल सुपर माइंडफुल बनेंगे, एक एक मोमेंट जो अपनी ब्रेथ को आप देखते हो एज ए न्यूट्रल ऑब्जर्वर, इट रिमूव सो मेनी संस्कारास आउट ऑफ योर चित्ता, every one moment that you spend observing your breath without raga dvesha, so many samskaras have been cleared, because every moment spent neutrally without raga dvesha is like a water drop cleansing the mud that is accumulated in the mirror of your chitta, which is not allowing your purusha to reflect on your chitta, correct? फिर वो आसन करता है, प्राणायाम करता है, उसके बाद में वो प्रत्याहार करता है, विड्रॉ करता है अपने सेंसेस, फिर कहीं उसका चित्त जब प्योर होने लगता है तो वो धारणा ध्यान समाधि की तरफ आगे बढ़ते हुए उसको तेजी से प्योर करना शुरू करता है। जब उसका चित्त पूरे तरीके से प्योर हो जाता है और वो अपने संयमा को डायरेक्शन उस तरफ ले जाता है कि द चित्ता एंड द पुरुष आर डिफरेंट, चित्ता इज बुद्धि, बिकॉज वट एवर चित्ता इज द मीडियम ऑन विच वट एवर बुद्धि परसीव्स इज ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्टेड, तो वो ही टेल्स दैट the buddhi and the purusha are separate, I am doing samyama on that, or I am becoming a super mindful person of every moment, the smallest unit of time, and I want to stay here in this kshana and I don't want to move from here, this is my samyama, इस क्षण में रहना है, इस क्षण मतलब मिली मिली नैनो नैनो स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट ऑफ टाइम, आई वांट टू बी हियर, आई डोंट वांट टू मूव, in that in this moment I am complete. When he continues to do that, Patanjali says that slowly the samskaras start reducing, deleting. Chitta becomes light, then it becomes transparent. And when all the samskaras are cleared, chitta's purpose itself is done. Chitta ही चला जाता है. Chitta involutes. All gunas are gone. A yogi who is in Kaivalya becomes without chitta. So, there he directly starts manifesting the Purusha itself. Initial phases में, even if you reach this state where Purusha and Prakriti are the Buddhi, the Chitta is completely cleansed of its samskara, then Purusha is reflected on the Chitta, then the person is reaching a state of Kaivalya, which he says is the end. Understood?
What is the reason, like, why we are naturally clinging to what we should not do? Like, naturally we see in everyone we have a clinging, like, what we should not do, and naturally our mind got entangled with that. So is there a logic behind that? Like, why is the tendency there?
Because it
That
is,
is also samskara.
yeah, because it has been a tendency for millions and millions of years. All of us were bacterias. When this cosmos was created, then we evolved into plant kingdom, then animal kingdom, then now we are in human form. So our pashu vrittis, vegetative vrittis and samskaras are very deep. ठीक है ना? तो हम ये जो 84 लाख योनियों से घूम करके मनुष्य शरीर में आता है, वो ऐसे नहीं बोलते, इट इज ए इवोल्यूशन थ्रू विच यू रीच ए ह्यूमन स्टेज. नाउ यू कैरी ऑल दोज बैगेज ऑफ अर्थ को ही, कितने हो गए, कितने मिलियन ईयर हो गए अर्थ को? हम्म. अर्थ इज सम 60 मिलियन ईयर्स. लाइफ इज सम 2 मिलियन ईयर्स एगो लाइफ हैज स्टार्टेड. तो भाई ये 2 मिलियन ईयर का पूरा बैगेज का इनर्शिया रहेगा ना. आप अब पूरा फ्रीडम की तरफ जा रहे हो, आप उसका उतना सारा बैगेज को, ह्यूमन इज द पीक ऑफ इवोल्यूशन, बिकॉज देन ओनली यू आर एबल टू थिंक ऑफ ये पूरा आगे का, है कि नहीं? तो देयरफॉर ये जो हमको लगता है ना कि यार ये क्या है, ये अर्थ को 60 मिलियन हो गए, फिर 2 मिलियन से ही लाइफ क्यों हुआ, उसके पहले अर्थ क्या कर रहा था इतने टाइम तक, फिर ये 2 मिलियन से ये सब आए, तो फिर हम लोग मतलब, सी इन आवर परसेप्शन इट अपीयर्स वेरी बिग, लेकिन जब ये कॉस्मिक फ्लो में देखा जाता है तो इट इज ए वेरी स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ टाइम. सेम सीडी प्लेज. तो देयरफॉर you should not, you should just understand one thing, that time in your perception and the time in cosmic perception is very different. So what appears to you as a very long tedious journey in another dimension of time, it can happen in a flash. Okay. बट अभी हमारे लिए यही ट्रूथ है कि हम लोग बैक्टीरिया से इवॉल्व होकर के यहाँ तक पहुंचे, और वो सारे मेमोरीज हमारे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में चित्त संस्कार के रूप में है, और हमको सबसे फ्रीडम लेना है कैवल्य में जाने के लिए. We have to get freedom from all of that if we are going to Kaivalya. So you can imagine how much struggle it is, how much of inertia and pull will be there, which is there for everybody. All of us are struggling between the Daivatva and the Pashutva. We want to evolve further, but our animal tendencies, they pull us down. Okay? So finally, we completed the third chapter, Appa. It was dragging for almost a year. Yes. Anybody online, any question, offline, any question?
Shuddha, Shuddha Chitta is like it is not having any reflections, so that it can reflect Purusha.
Purusha.
So, what is different between that kind of Chitta and the Chitta in the Nidra?
Oh, see, in Nidra, it is actually a very good question. In Nidra, the baggage of samskara remains as it is. You know, that chitta which is completely, purified, doesn't have any baggage of samskaras. Correct? Now, momentarily, keeping all that baggage aside, अभाव प्रत्यय आलंबना vritti nidra. The creation, right from the time of evolution, has created a phenomena where, all, in spite of keeping all that baggage, chitta will come in a state of stand stillness and will not reflect anything. क्योंकि एकदम सिंपल चीज है यार, आप पूरा दिन रात 24 घंटा टीवी चलाओगे तो स्क्रीन जल जाएगा उसका. तो टीवी को थोड़ा बंद तो करना पड़ेगा ना, ताकि वापस मॉर्निंग में चालू हो जाए. तो यू हैव टू स्विच ऑफ टीवी राइट फॉर सम टाइम इन अ डे, अदरवाइज इट विल बिकम हॉट. इन द सेम वे, हाउ मच विल चित्ता वर्क, कितना वो प्रोजेक्ट करेगा, तो नेचर बोलता है थोड़े टाइम के लिए इसको स्विच ऑफ रखेंगे, विच इज बाय फोर्स नेचर हैज पुट, कि थोड़ी देर के लिए तो टीवी बंद करो यार. तो इसको बोलते हैं नींद. बराबर. बट when chitta is almost there ready for kaivalya, then it is not simply a screen. No, it has become effulgent with omniscience and omnipotence of the very source of creation. Now it is not TV, it is 1000 suns shining together at the same time. So a TV switched off and 1000 suns shining together at the same time. What is the difference between the two screens? If it is 1000 sun also, there is no projection on the TV. If it is switched off also, there is no projection on the TV. But they are diametrically, they are opposite. No, they are very intense. टीवी चालू किया, वापस वही उसकी कहानी शुरू हो जाएगी, उसमें जो भी चैनल चल रहा है। लेकिन यहाँ पे एक बार 1000 सन आ गए तो वो टीवी फूट जाएगा, लेकिन वो सन अब चमकते रहेगा। अब यू अंडरस्टैंड?
Sir, you said like in the
एंड निद्रा फ्लक्चुएट्स, फिर से आ जाता है। Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, what is the difference between state of samadhi and sleep? He says when a fool, a deluded person goes into sleep, he wakes up as a deluded person. But when a fool, a deluded person goes into samadhi, he wakes up as a wise man. All samskaras, delusions, aviveka, avidya gone. And this viveka is non-fluctuating. Nidra also fluctuates. But once this viveka shines forth, it doesn't fluctuate after that. It is akramam. Yes.
You said like when we go in Nidra, our baggage of like what we say, the things we put aside somewhat. Then why do we have dreams in our sleep? We are putting them all the.
So this is also an important point, that the whole process of sleep is designed in such a way that it should give rest to the chitta. Correct? And make the person fresh again for reflecting vrittis next day in the morning. Correct? So what happens is, when the vrittis are getting registered in the chitta, some vrittis get stuck. Some vrittis, are attached so much to the chitta that they do not allow the chitta to relax as deeply as chitta should. So those vrittis have to be released during the sleep process itself. So generally, the dreams that come to all of us are actually the what you can say, unfinished phenomena which are stuck in between, and that goes to a kind of a completion, so that post that a person is able to go in a deeper sleep. Okay. Sometimes it is a problem in relaxation of that phenomena itself, when you get nightmares and all those pathological condition, insomnia. It means वो mechanism अब काम नहीं कर रहा, अब टीवी बंद नहीं हो रहा, आपका स्विच ऑफ नहीं हो रहा, वो प्रॉब्लम हो गया, you know. So that also can happen, but a healthy human being I am talking about. Fine. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.